The carbon footprint of the world's richest 1% is on track to be 30 times higher than what's needed to limit global warming to 1.5 C, a study says. But emissions of the poorest 50% will continue to be below climate goals. The research, carried out by 2 European environmental agencies, comes as world leaders meet at the COP26 climate conference in Glasgow. A tiny elite appear to have a free pass to pollute, says Naftoke Dabi at Oxfam. The charity commissioned the study from the Stockholm Environment Institute and the Institute for European Environmental Policy. Their oversized emissions are fueling extreme weather around the world and jeopardizing the international goal of limiting global heating. Climate scientists warn that there is a finite amount of greenhouse gases that we can continue to release into the atmosphere before the planet warms to more than 1.5 C from pre-industrial levels. By 2030, they say, we need to only emit as much carbon as the planet can absorb. If this amount was split evenly and every adult on the planet had a share, by 2030 we could each emit 2.3 tons of CO2 every year.
The super rich, many of whom have multiple homes, private jets, and super yachts, emit a lot more than others. A recent study that tracked the air travel of celebrities via their social media accounts found some emitted over 1,000 tons a year. But the global 1% are not just billionaires, or even millionaires. It includes anyone earning over $172,000. This study also looked at the world's richest 10%, anyone earning over $55,000, and found emissions were still high. The richest 10% will emit 9 times more carbon than their share. One example of people in the top 10% is the Cuz, a family of 4 in the suburbs of Toledo, Ohio. Tracy Cuz, her husband, and her teenage daughter each drive a car. The suburb I live in, that's pretty much how everyone gets around, says Tracy. Toledo has hot summers and cold winters, so the air conditioning is on when the heating isn't. The family has a freezer loaded with chicken breasts and mince beef. They eat meat about 4 or 5 times a week. I would say that's pretty normal for most American families, says Tracy. For English teacher Togo Severin Togo and Katie, Molly, life is quite different. Like 80% of people in the world, he doesn't have a car. He travels to work on his moped. Cars are considered to be for rich people, he says. He gave up meat recently, but before that he ate it just 2 or 3 times a week. And, like 90% of people around the world, he's never been on an airplane. But he does worry about emissions from people burning waste in his city, where the waste management system is not functional, as well as the inefficient wood and gas burners used for cooking. Oxfam's report found that it's the 40% in the middle doing the most to curb emissions. While their carbon footprint rose significantly between 1990 and 2015, it is set to drop, thanks to changes being made at government level in sectors like transport and energy since the Paris Climate Agreement in 2015. But governments need to do more, Oxfam's Naftoke Dabi says, calling for bans and taxes on carbon-intensive luxury goods, such as mega mansions, SUVs, or space tourism. They need to tackle the emissions of the richest because they're hugely responsible for the climate crisis, and it's the poorest that are paying the highest price, she says.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe